course, a veteran for over 20 years in the stock market. But today, Vikas Khemani joins me in the studios on a very special occasion. Vikas, afternoon. Thank you very much. Good day to have you because small cap, mid cap has sprung back, especially the quality pockets have come back very nicely. And you are about to launch a Bharat Amritkaal fund. Now, the moment I read about it and I came to know about it, I was very curious to have you, and great that you obliged us. The point I'm trying to say is that our policymakers and leaders have been speaking about Amritkal and Viksit Bharat ambition for some time now.
Yes.
But by the looks of it, and we interact with top business leaders, policymakers, it appears that things are much more concrete and getting better with each passing day. I want to start our discussion today on the thinking behind this particular fund and what are the building blocks which you are seeing that you think of launching this special fund.
Thank you, Ajay. It's always great to chat with you, and thanks for having me on your show. So I think the idea is, most of the time people when zoom in, you look at here now short-term volatility, and our idea is to zoom out and see, when you zoom out and see what could be potential over next 20, 30 years as India is developing, as India is transforming, that perspective is which we are trying to build. And first of all, of course, we have a leadership which has given, and it's a great thing that we have such leadership which has given a developed country of Viksit Bharat by 2047 as India becomes 100. So what are the potentials and what are the possibilities, and why this time around it will happen, why we believe that will happen, and if it happens, what are the opportunities? And that is what we try to outline in this fund, and that is what we are going to capture in this. And that's the whole theme, that India will move from $3.7 trillion GDP to $29-30 trillion over next 23-24 years. Per capita we will move from $2,600 to $18,000. Our world share GDP will go to 16%, which is right now in and around 4%. So I think as this transformation happens, and it has happened elsewhere in the in the past, so same thing will happen in India. And so that is the whole idea, is to zoom out, look at what are the possibilities and how we can create supernormal or superior wealth in this period of Amritkal as India is embarking on.
Sure. Let me scratch that point a little more while you may have a sip of water. I want to talk about the last few years of this leadership. In fact, from 13 when Mr. Modi was announced as the PM candidate, from there to 2024, we have been almost 10 years now.
Yes.
And the bull run has continued.
Yes.
I want to understand the kind of reforms already happened: railways, infrastructure, airports, manufacturing, electronic manufacturing, many others. You see this momentum continue in a broad-based fashion even from here on, because people are questioning, ab kya naya, what new will happen?
No, I think, see, one important thing to understand, last 10 years we have built foundation. Massive reforms have been carried out on the economics reforms. IBC, RERA, GST, which have been pending for very long, have been carried out. We have done digital infrastructure, which has kind of built a very significant base for growth. And lastly, infrastructure reforms. We are seeing today massive infrastructure is getting built across the board: ports, roads, railways, airports, everything, right? So this foundation is laid, and based on this foundation, you can build an building or imarat which is Viksit Bharat over next 20-25 years. That's the dream. And more importantly, I think there are many tectonic shifts which have happened in this. Sure. And I think why we believe this time around this is possible is there are 6 tectonic shifts. And it's very important to understand. Once you understand that, you will have a lot more conviction around India.
Please go ahead and explain.
So first big shift which has happened is that India has moved from incremental thinking to exponential thinking. Historically, everything we wanted to do in 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years. Today, everything has to be done at a speed, at a scale, and in a short period of time. That exponential thinking is a very, very big departure from the past. Secondly, historically, if you've seen, we've always operated from constrained mindset. India is a poor country, we can only do so much. Today, you don't have that narrative. India has moved from constrained mindset to no constrained mindset. Gadkari has said that, we have no shortage of money, right? Whereas earlier, we said we don't have money for defense. So today, money is there for defense, infrastructure, welfare, everything. Very different, big change. Third big thing which has happened is that India has historically looked towards West for the solution of its own problem. Today, India is finding its own solution to its own problem, whether it is COVID, or whether it is UPI, or even if you look at, world is still talking about universal basic income, but India has implemented already in form of DBT. Yeah. So India is finding its own solution. Fourthly, India is innovating at scale at low cost. Whether again it is payment, or if you tell any foreigner that in less than $2 you can get unlimited data, it is unheard. So India is innovating at scale at low cost. Another very big change which has happened is that historically you had only a model of socialism or capitalism. India displayed first time in the world that you can have social welfare and development can coexist. It is not at odds with each other, and that's a very big departure from the past, right? And last but not the least, I would say India does not sit anymore in the corner at the global stage. We all have felt and seen that India takes center stage. India has a huge stature difference, and when you look at that today, India is calling out an important voice in everything globally, and that has a huge economic multiplier impact. So according to us, these big tectonic shifts, right, will lead to three things: strength, scale and speed. We are the most populous nation on the planet, we are the most youngest nation on the planet, and we are the most aspirational nation on the planet. So whenever you have these three things, it creates huge wealth. Like let us say any company over 20 years which has created massive wealth, anything you can take, Asian Paint, HDFC Bank, Astral, any company you can take, you will find three things: strength, scale and speed. So if it happens at the company level, we have seen and felt, same thing will happen at the country level. You will see these three things, and this will lead to a massive wealth creation cycle over next 10, 20, 25 years period. And that is what our thought process is, to tell people that stop looking at this 1000 plus minus correction point, look at big picture, and how things can pan out over
Excellent point.